Welcome to the Fishing Daily podcast. Today we'll be talking about the Catch Welfare Platform, and we'll be joined by Michelle Boonstra, who is a marine biologist and the project manager for the Catch Welfare Platform. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you, Oliver. Good to be here.
Michelle, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you ended up with the Catch Welfare Platform?
Yeah, sure. So I graduated as a marine biologist on sustainable fisheries in the Caribbean. Then I started my career at an NGO called Fish, who was having a seafood guide where I did sustainability assessments on fisheries and advised retail and wholesalers to make sustainable choices in seafood. After that, I was a project manager at the Bergen Marine Research Institute, where I led several projects on innovation in fisheries in collaboration with fishermen and research. Amongst which was also a project that was about the stunning and killing of flatfish in demersal fisheries, but also on the valorization of stunned fish. And that's how I got involved with fish welfare in fisheries, and where I met also several fish welfare scientists. And that's how we came up with the idea of the Catch Welfare Platform. And that's how I arrived to this point.
Yeah, and now the Catch Welfare Platform conference is on in Bergen between the 20th and the 22nd of November. And seeing as we have the project manager here, we're going to have to ask you what's happening during the conference.
Yeah, so what's happening? Of course, a lot of people from all kind of different fields together, which is always good. But we'll be having interesting talks. The event is built up in such a way that we start with the capture process. So the first part will be about capture. So everything from fish entering the net or the gear until they come on board. That's day one. And then day two will be about handling. And we have a fun excursion in between on day two. And then on day three, it will be about stunning and killing. And after that, about valorization. So what happens in the market. And then every block has its part where we do a little introduction. So a little bit of theoretical background from our experts. But not too long, because then we want to move on to a part where people tell us about their experience in the field. So practical knowledge on these topics, examples of people already applying better catch welfare. And we have working sessions as well. That means that we will sit together. It will be broken down into groups according to gear. So pelagic, demersal, passive, and rod and line. And there in smaller groups, we will work on trade-off identifications, meaning that we will assume an improvement, and then we'll discuss what the consequences are for the fishermen, their daily business, but also further up in the supply chain, what will be the consequences, and do this trade-off to see how these improvements will work out in reality, and what things we have to think about. And we have to think about valorization, but also traceability. For example, if you want to leave your passive gear longer in the sea, what consequences does it have for your fuel consumption and for the quality? How will the suppliers deal with that? So we want to have conversation about these kind of things.
Going back to the groups, as you said, you'll be talking about pelagics and the whitefish sectors and different areas. What sort of people are you looking for to be attending the event?
Yeah, so that's our primary target group is the industry, and of course that includes fishing companies, fishermen, but also commerce, so buyers, sellers, wholesalers, retail, but also people like Tom Rossiter, that work on gear technology. Also, of course, the manufacturers of stunning and killing equipment, they will be there. Certifiers, and all kind of people that work in their daily practice with capture fisheries.
It sounds very interesting that will be so many people from different areas of the sector all together at the one event. So, Michelle, how many participants are attending, and what countries are they coming from?
So now that the registration is closed, we are at 130 participants of the physical conference. And yeah, the main part comes from the Netherlands, Scandinavia, and the UK. But it's a wide variety of people. So also people from Uganda are joining, people from Vietnam, the south of Europe. So yeah, there's a big variety of people and a big part from the industry, which I'm really happy about. And the other half is, let's say, research.
And for you personally, what does the Catch Welfare platform mean?
Yeah, for me, it means like bringing together people that work on a very new and very specific subject. We saw till now that there is people working on this subject, but it's very isolated. So I always like it when people come together and new collaborations will form. So yeah, that's something that I really look forward to. And to get the industry at the table, because in the end, NGOs and policymakers can come up with a lot of good ideas, but they have to meet the daily practice on board as well, and that only works when you really have the fishing industry in the conversation as well. It's a challenging subject. It's relatively new for wild capture, but yeah, that's why I like it. I like challenges.
Yeah, it's definitely an event where you'll have a lot of like-minded people getting together. Um, where do you see the progress of the event going afterwards?
Yeah, so afterwards we hope to establish a network with active and maybe also less active members, um, where people, yeah, work together in working groups. Our idea is that people work in working groups on certain things like operational welfare indicators, risk assessments, criteria, but also maybe valorization models. So people that want to start working with catch welfare don't have to reinvent the wheel, and it's easy for them to find each other in these working groups. So what we can imagine in these working groups, that you have a very active core of the people that really produce these things that I just mentioned, and others are maybe just there to inform themselves or to give feedback on certain things.
You mentioned earlier on today that the event registration is closed
Yes.
at the moment. So where can people go to see this? Is there another place that they can have access to this conference?
Yes. So the registration is closed. But we'll be streaming the plenary sessions online. That will be on our website, catchwelfareplatform.com. And of course, they can stay updated with everything happening there at Fishing Daily as well, where a lot of interesting podcasts will be released, I believe. And so the plenary sessions will be streamed. The working sessions will not, because we want people to feel free to speak openly. And also it's 4 rooms, so more difficult to cover. But all the plenary sessions will be available online and recorded as well. So if people do not have time at that moment, they can always check later what we have presented.
The Fishing Daily will be there. We'll be broadcasting a few podcasts while we're there, and we'll be interviewing attendees. And for people who's not there, who has questions, can they get in contact with you regarding them?
Yes, we're always happy to take questions. So people can ask Fishing Daily questions, and then we will take all these questions and maybe answer them. Maybe have our expert answer them afterwards in a special podcast.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting because I'm sure a lot of people tuning in will have questions about what is happening and how this will affect them. Because I can see some fishermen already, if when they're listening to this here, thinking, "Oh, we'll have to stun all our fish." But this conference is there to help develop new ideas and bring it about in a way that makes it easier for fishermen.
Yeah, for pragmatic solutions that work for the fishermen as well.
It's definitely quite a global event.
Yes.
And how do you see the relationship developing with with such a wide number of countries being involved in it?
Yeah, so of course it's challenging to go to cover the whole world from the start, but what we hope is that it will spread, so the people that attend will spread it in their network as well, and that it will grow over the years.
And for these people who's attending, would you like to see them having their own conferences in their own countries and bringing this message to the fishermen?
Yeah, we're definitely open for that. Yeah.
And would this be something that the Catch Welfare Platform would be working with these people?
Yeah, we can cover these people and help these people. What we also want to do is to create education modules and materials for people to make it easier to set something up like that in their own country, which can be translated, and to provide them with materials.
Tell us about a project that you're working on that led you to working on Catch Welfare.
Yeah, so I will be presenting myself as well on day 3 in the stunning and killing part. I will present a project where I've been working on now for 3 years, together with Wageningen Livestock Research, Hans van de Vis, and the fisherman Hendrik Kramer, and Good Fish. We have been developing a stunning and killing machine for flatfish, for the demersal fisheries. And we will present that we not only why and how we're not only developing the technology, but also had a look at the market and how to valorize fish with improved welfare. Because I really believe that in order to make a transition, it's really important not only to look at the technology, but also the incentive for fishermen, as well as acceptance. Because if we're going to wait, if you want a fisherman to take a machine on board, they should have a good reason for it too. So I will tell a little bit more about that. And then also we will tell a little bit about the outcome of our project that led to our fish label Wild and Zilt that I run now together with the fishermen. So that has been a really interesting journey, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Afterwards, we will continue with a panel discussion on the valorization of food catch welfare of seafood. And in that panel, we'll have people from different fields. So somebody that works at advice for the seafood guide, somebody that has a brand, and a fisherman who will be discussing this issue. So the economic side of it.
Thank you, Michelle, for joining us, and looking forward to meeting you at the conference. I'm sure it'll be a tremendous event, and hopefully we'll have a lot of people who become interested in catch welfare and will join us on stream for it.
Yeah, I hope so too. I see you in Bergen, Oliver.